Hey Adventure Seekers, in this episode we're going to go up to my property and check out to see if there's been any more trespassers. Last year we had some deer hunters that were trespassing on our land and really didn't seem to care. Well, I'm walking down to see if there's been any trespassing going on down on the county road. They kind of walk the county road and then they cut in on our property. Now, it doesn't look like there's been any signs out here right now, but that's what we're gonna go check out. So last year, the trespassers went down our farm road that goes out to my cabin. They shot a deer over on the other property, drug it down here and gutted it right in the driveway here. So I'm gonna walk down the other road here and see if there's trails still from last year where they jumped the fence and shot another deer. I actually went out and cut their deer stands down and gave them to my brother, so hopefully they're getting the message. So here's where they hopped the fence last year and actually drug a deer off my property, which is clearly marked all the way down the county road, drug it over the fence and gutted it on the county road. So it doesn't look like anyone's been out here. And this is the ruts they left driving their four-wheelers through my property. It's always amazing to me the entitlement these trespassers feel that they have. A close friend and neighbor of ours caught the trespassers with flashlights down by our cabin. And when confronted, the trespassers claimed that they knew that they were on private property but just didn't think anyone would care. And clearly in the Minnesota DNR handbook for hunting, it says to get permission before hunting private land. And so here's my final message to the trespassers. Buy yourself some hunting property, pay the mortgage, and pay the property taxes. And so since I've added cameras, and someday don't be surprised if all of a sudden you fence jumpers find yourself on YouTube. So we've had so much rain that Snake River might be up. I'll tell you, it's kind of cool when you have property that's adjoining a county road and they don't maintain it, because there's a lot of deadfall down here right now that I'm looking at, and no one's getting through here. So it's kind of nice when a road kind of goes back to nature and it just becomes a walking trail. It's awful quiet out here. Just no birds, a lot of them have flown south. Really quiet. And that didn't last too long. Soon after, a big flock of blackbirds came through. Really cool big rocks out here that you can come down here in the summer and take a dip. So on our property we have a little quagmire of a lake that used to be a lot deeper, and we used to duck hunt out there. And here's the lake back in about 1991. My brother and I are out duck hunting and set up some decoys. That's me out on the beaver hut. I think you can all clearly see why I'd like to see this lake back. The dam broke and let loose, and the beaver really haven't been back there. So I want to go check out to see if the beaver have been working on that lake and cutting to get the lake level back up, because it has so much rain. There's a possibility I have a good-sized lake back there again. We have a creek that comes off of our lake and feeds back into the Snake River. So we'll take a hike up right now and go check out the cabin, which we're going to start working on. It's an old farm road to get down there, but it seems to me when you make some of those improvements, you lose some of that stuff. So the magic and going up to the cabin and getting the lanterns going, I know there's a lot of guys out there that understand what I'm talking about. So we're going to take that build so far, but there's a lot to fix on it. We haven't been up in the cabin for years. We've kind of been staying at Laura's dad's pole barn. When he passed away, he gave that to us, and you know, he made a living section in there and lived in the pole barn for us until we get down here. It's just as we get older too, it's been nice having the electricity, and he doesn't have running water there, so we still have to do that. But so it's kind of nice we have both, but I do want to get back to just doing the natural thing and getting down to the cabin without some of the luxuries. Not really sure what these are. Maybe someone knows. I'm having a hard time focusing on them. I don't know, they're about a foot off the ground. Maybe they're blueberries. Not real up on my edibles. So I had to slim down and put the gimbal away because it's just thick in here, and I'm just getting hung up on too many of the branches from the elders and some of the diamond willow. So I'm going to be doing it by hand, so I apologize for any shakiness, but it's what I had to do. So I have to kind of follow the shoreline of the river here, because our property, there's a lot of wetlands. With all the rain, there's no way I can get through it. So I kind of have to scoot back and forth through here along the river, and hopefully we can get up towards our cabin. Like I said, there's a big slough on the back side of our cabin that is just wet. You can kind of, I'll show you some pictures. It's a lot of diamond willow and elder that grow up through here, and just makes walking just almost impossible. So this is that wet area, and I'm gonna follow the river along and get back up towards the back side of our cabin. I think this is a currant bush, and I think those are currant berries. But if someone else has got it right and I got it wrong, go ahead and put a comment down below. So it's kind of a bust trying to get through along the river. It's just so much water. So there's a lot more wetlands. So I'm back on the county road trail here, and I'm gonna head back up and see if I can cut across somewhere else on our property, get down to the cabin. Right up there, there's an oak I'm trying to make it to. This is all water in here. So I'm gonna follow that edge of those pines along with the willows. And here's a tree that I took that deer stand down from. A nice ladder stand. It took me quite a while. I had to bring a cable cutter and cut it down. Made it back to the hard ground, so I think I'm free to get down to my cabin now. I don't know how I'm gonna get back, probably the same way, because I know that old farm road is probably just really wet. Okay, I made it across. I got the gimbal back out, so better videos. Let's walk through this and get back on the road to my cabin. Okay, we're back on the road going to my cabin. Let's go check it out. This is the bad part of the road. This is where we get the washouts. We got a small culvert in here, but I'm sure that's plugged. Oh yeah, sure as shit, someone's been driving back here. We're almost smack dab in the middle of 4 of our 40s where the cabin is. Should have brought the cabin keys with me so I could check that out. So the lake used to come up right to there. It had a dock, and it looks like it's coming back. So they must be working on it, the beaver. Wow, it is up. You can kind of tell because there's no new growth. There's not a lot of soil, so the water table is way up here, which is good. Let me tell you, when the water was up, the frogs and just the night sounds, having a fire down here was just incredible. Here's the 1997 to 2003 Quagmire Lake Hunting Club. From left to right, my Uncle Brian, my brother Kevin, a younger version of myself, and my grandfather. And later joining the hunting club, my dad and my son Christopher. And last but not least, my buddy Paul. Here's my boy Baca. Didn't matter what kind of hunting it was, he just wanted to be hunting. And the duck boat my grandfather had built. Yeah, it's just a really cool place to be. A lot of memories of my grandmother and grandfather spending the weekends with us. You can see the work I gotta do on this cabin. I got eaves yet to build. I just got a ton to do. So I'm down here by the old Beaver Dam, which was probably, I guess I'd say maybe 100 yards long and about 8 feet tall before it broke. So I'm gonna try to scale. It's really overgrown. There's a channel that goes out to the big part of the lake. I'm standing on the dam right now, the Beaver Dam. And here's the outlet that I was talking about that goes all the way down to the Snake River. I'll get up closer here. It's been about 12 years since the dam broke and we lost our lake water. I remember getting up to the cabin about midnight and walking down to the dock to get some lake water, and being surprised when my pails only hit dirt. I remember the next morning looking out at the lake and thinking how it looked like Armageddon. This little guy took advantage of the dam breaking, and like I said, that's part of nature, so I'm not complaining. It's up though, the level. It just doesn't look like the beaver are blocking this in. Right here is where the dam used to go all the way across this and even back into some of that hardwoods back there. And when it went quick, and it really plowed a path down to the river. Someone once told me that if a dam breaks at a beaver built, that those beaver will not rebuild and rework that dam. And I tend to believe this is true because they have not worked on this part of the dam in the 12 years. And unless they do, this part of the lake's not coming up. Now the beaver have been working past the old dam further down on the creek. Well, I'm back on the old road and we're gonna take a walk along this lane right here. Beautiful though. The pines have really grown. Just a lot different than when we first built down here. you've enjoyed this episode on Icy Adventures. And hey, thanks for watching.
Icy